Rafael, Kenji, Marques, Nishiyama. At the bottom of your screen, Golgari midrange, Lenore elves. Do you survive? That is the question we all want to know, and the answer is yes, you get to live. Amazing. Riku on a mulligan to 6. Has our Mako out, turn 2. Karsi Revenant. Yes, this is the start we like to see.
Yeah, Llanowar Elves is actually a pretty reasonable way to approach the Is It Cauldron matchup, just because they don't have that many slots available for cheap removal. There's a lot of pressure to use them on cards like Abrade, Into the Flood Maw, Broadside Barrage, which are not particularly good at answering a turn 1 Llanowar Elves, especially when the Golgari player gets to be on the play.
Yeah. Torch the towers, maybe those sort of removal spells line up against the Llanowar Elves. But currently, as it stands, I mean, Rafael's having a pretty excellent start here. Having our Adventure as well. Adventure spell going off there.
Mosswood Dread Knight, one of my favorite cards in Standard. And fortunate for Rafael there, I think he started his turn in that fashion because he didn't have a land drop, but he found one off the top.
Nice. Who needs lands when you have a Llanowars? Actually, you still want to have lands.
Ideally, you have both, exactly.
Definitely, let's have both situation there. It's a Karsi Revenant padding the life total here. And the turn passing back now to Riku. He's got Prop's Eidetic Memory. He's got the Mako on the board. Do we have a third land? He isn't a mulligan to 6. So hopefully those 2 lands weren't the only he had in hand. Looks like it may well be the case. Big think here about what it is he wants to cast. So start things off with a fear of missing out. Discard a VV, into the bin it goes. Little Mako gets a little bigger.
Yep, plus Riku will pick up another counter on something with the Prop's Eidetic Memory. As you mentioned, though, third land is what he really wants in order to continue developing. Rafael's draw does not look like it's going to offer a lot of breathing room, especially if he can follow up with a removal spell, a big threat.
Yeah. This is a... There's a third land for Riku, so that's a good sign for him. You know, being on the draw, on a mulligan, your opponent's ramped, you definitely can't afford to miss land drops. So... good thing Riku did find that. Representing a bounce spell, perhaps, into the Flood Maw. If he wants to deal with one of these pesky critters that Rafael's deployed. So 4 mana for Rafael to play with. He's got plenty of options. I don't know if it's a Ouroboros time. Ouroboros, I can't say that word to save my life. Plant Worm. So just going to get in there with the Karsi Revenant, gain some extra life. 3 in the air. Riku is down to 14. And nothing. Cool. All right.
Yeah, Rafael's passing with the end available, which is pretty cool. I think basically the calculus here was he didn't want to spend his whole turn on a 4-drop into a possible Into the Flood Maw.
Yeah, that feels bad. 1 mana to answer a 4 mana threat. Now, what creature do you think Rafael wants to nab with the end?
Well, ideally you would hit VV, because if you're able to extract all of those from the opponent's library, it really does restrict what the Is It Cauldron deck can do. The problem, of course, is that the best draws from Is It Cauldron don't involve casting VV. It just goes straight to the graveyard. So in this case, I think he's just going to use it kind of as an honest removal spell to take care of whatever he believes is the opponent's biggest threat.
Yeah. And, you know, we have seen the Is It Cauldron deck shift gears from being this combo deck to, I'm just going to kill you with big things. So, you know, getting one of the fear of missing out off the board or hitting a Steam Core Scholar if that approaches or appears, then That will still do pretty well in keeping the life total high as we see Agatha's Soul Cauldron hit the board here.
It's going to be a big problem.
That is a big problem.
Even removing one creature, there's still several threats that can gain that VV ability.
Yeah. So just target the bear FOMO?
Yeah, I think so. And then what's the worst that can happen if there's a single removal spell from Rafael? You know, you only get one of the FOMOs, and you still have access to at least 7 additional mana.
Jeez. All right, going for the end, hitting the Mako. So now it gets to dig through the hand, the graveyard, and the library. Exile all those friends. This is a good way to get information about your opponent's deck, huh?
That's true. Good point. Because this is a closed deck list event, at least on the first day.
So going through, gets to take a peek, find all the Makos and exile them.
Well, the good news for Rafael is that Riku is gonna have a ton of mana, but there's nothing obvious that he can do with it. Okay, Wild Ride, great. You get to make some big creatures, but it's not like he has a Winter Night Stories or a Quantum Riddler where he would just be able to go. Instead, it's going to be like kind of a fair fight, at least until the top of the library delivers something.
Yeah. So information gleaned there from Rafael. Riku gets a shuffle. He didn't exile any from hand, so he doesn't get the draw. So pretty good position that Rafael finds himself in. Playing good, honest Magic, like you mentioned.
We're not particularly close to Delirium either.
Land and, what was it, a VV? Yeah.
Land and VV, but the VV might be, Cauldron eventually, so...
Yeah. And doesn't look like Riku has much of a follow-up here, barring the Wild Ride you mentioned, so desperately needs some card draw. I mean, I guess if he wanted to, he could have activated the Cauldron and animated the land, but yeah, no real reason to do it on his turn. Or at least at that point. Shoot the Sheriff. Gonna take care of fear of missing out. At least one thereof. And then
taking out both
creatures.
Woo! So that there's nothing on the battlefield to get cauldroned.
Ouch.
Except that Soulstone Sanctuary, which is not nothing.
No, that can still be pretty large indeed. And that was a good swing in there. Riku Kumagai down to 7 now. And this Is-It Cauldron deck is reeling a little bit here. Four mana. What are we doing here? Tap 4, tap the Cauldron. We animated the land? No. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, end step, get VV under there. Plenty of creatures to get a counter on a critter if there's one in hand, but we have to find that creature first. Yeah, Soulstone Sanctuary, Wild Ride. Just doesn't do anything. I don't think we'll see it in this matchup while Riku ponders his turn here. What happens with the Corsi Revenant if it's gotten by Agatha's Soul Cauldron? Can you do the renew ability or no? No, because that's only from the graveyard, right?
Yeah, that's only an ability of the card in the graveyard.
Right, gotcha.
So it would just be kind of a nice, normal thing to do is to exile your opponent's Corsi Revenant, pick up a counter, and hate on their graveyard.
Yeah, okay. I found that interesting, why the Draconaut Engineer was taken out. Because in the mirror match, if you give your opponent a Draconautics Engineer, you're a little sad about it.
Right. I will have no shortage of mirror matches that we can show you on camera tomorrow, and it is a very, very challenging and compelling, matchup.
Yeah.
But there's some unintuitive stuff going on there when both players have access to Agatha's Soul Cauldron.
Jeez. Yeah, it's so many intricate decisions need to be made, and there's so much going on at any given point in those mirror matches especially, so got to pay close attention to what's going on, as now we see Soulstone Sanctuary animated. It gets the counter, no 5th land to be able to keep it up and ready. So, hey, we did find a Winter Night story, though. That's good. What can Riku cobble together here? Can he survive this game?
So 1 red mana floating, a land drop to give, but he needs something pretty special because Rafael is threatening a lethal attack.
Yeah.
So at minimum, needs to play a creature, maybe find a removal spell, maybe double Marauding Mako, but no, he's actually just going to concede.
Doesn't have it, didn't find anything to block those critters on the board, so great start here for Rafael. On the play, able to capitalize, had like the perfect curve, all things considered. So Riku is going to consult the sideboard now and see what he can find to help him up against this Golgari mid-range deck.
That was really exactly what you want as a Golgari player. It's like, okay, I got my Llanowar Elves, I dropped a big threat, and then just kill opposing stuff to make sure that I can preserve that early advantage that I won off the Llanowar Elves ramp.
Yeah, absolutely. What is Riku going to go to, do you think, in the sideboard?
Well, I think he'll want removal spells, Broadside Barrage, Cut Propulsion. Those are options. He could go to bigger stuff like Ral Crackling Wit if he anticipates that Raphael is just going to have a ton of spot removal. Obliterating Bolt. So, yeah, it's mostly about just perfecting the reactive suite and make sure he's prepared to deal with Raphael's potent threats.
Yeah, 22 creatures in his deck, so definitely will have some targets for all those pieces of removal, Riku Kumagai. On the on Raphael's side of things, I like Lord Skitter. This guy's fun.
I like Lord Skitter as well. Yeah, Raphael's sideboard, like, he could plausibly bring in basically everything except Malicious Eclipse. So 13 cards in, but that's the dynamic of a mid-range deck is you don't tend to have any cards that are terrible.
Yeah.
So he just has this deep roster of like basically 70, 73 cards that are all useful to him, and he's going to just try to pick the ones that are the very, very best. So, I mean, I imagine Ghost Vacuum. I imagine some amount of hand disruption so that he can fight that battle.
Yeah.
I noticed that he doesn't have ways to actually destroy a Soul Cauldron in his main deck, so I think he'll want to turn to some number of those, Maelstrom Pulse, Disenchant type of effects.
I think the only thing he has in the main deck is the Petty Revenge on the Disruptive Stormbrood.
Yes, good point.
That's one thing. Oh, no, that's a creature.
It's the Stormbrood itself.
Yes, the Stormbrood itself. Yeah, sorry. Got the two mixed up there. But yeah, that's what I really like this dragon. Such a sweet little, very Golgari thing that it likes to do. Just the one of in the main deck. And then, yeah, for the rest of it, it's just get a bunch of creatures down and kill you. The way Garfield intended.
Yep.
Probably not, but, So some really sweet options in the sideboards here for our players. Lord Skitter, able to exile things from the graveyard. And again, this is a closed decklist day, I could say. So, you don't know how much graveyard hate will be coming in from Raphael's side of things. So, if you're in Riku's seat, how much do you sideboard against that?
I think if I was Riku, my general approach would be to play to the strengths of my deck. Now, the black and green has no shortage of graveyard hate options, but it's not quite the same as like an Azorius control deck that's going to have Rest in Peace to totally shut down your Cauldron for the rest of the game. So, I would just take my medicine. Okay, look, they're going to have Ghost Vacuum, whatever. I'll deal with that when it comes to it, but I'm going to keep my VVs. I'm going to keep my Cauldrons. I'm going to try to do my thing and just kind of lean on the higher power level of my strategy and of my individual cards, and try to overpower the Golgari deck.
This Golgari list, one of the dark horses or underdogs here this weekend, so definitely keen to see Rafael do well here today and tomorrow. I know the last event that I was a part of, the top 8 was 7 Is It Cauldrons and 1 lone teamer hero.
We are prepared for that outcome here in Orlando, but we're hoping that it won't play out quite like that.
Yeah. I think people, the other decks are a little more prepared for all the Is It Cauldron shenanigans. Just hopefully the other archetypes don't take each other out on the way to the top 8,
That is a funny dynamic where it's like, okay, everyone against Is It Cauldron, main deck your Annuls, main deck your Rest in Pieces, anything goes. But then sometimes you do have to play these other matchups.
Yeah.
We saw mono red against mono black. Like nobody really is preparing for that stuff. But sometimes you sit down and that's what the pairings give you.
Players are ready to get underway, so let's jump back into the action here. Soul Cauldron on the board for Riku Kumagai to kick things off. If you would like to order Edge of Eternities, go and do so now. Fuel up your rocket ship. We're going to space. Go check out Star City Games and get all the latest products from Magic the Gathering.
Okay, so Riku is having a modest setup type of opening here where he's preemptively deployed the Cauldron. He's sculpting his hand with Winter Night Stories, but it's kind of nice, like, if you think your opponent has passed with Shoot the Sheriff, and you just go, well, I'm not going to play a creature. I'm just going to take this turn to draw cards. I'm going to make your mana go to waste. It's a very, very nice technique.
Nice. Got the Quantum Riddler in the bin. Sentinel of the Nameless City hits the board here. Brings along a map token with it. So first critter down belongs to Rafael. No VV in the bin just yet, but let's see what Riku can do here as we go to turn number 4. Okay. Obliterating Bolt takes care of a pretty chunky threat there in the Sentinel.
So Riku's just playing Is It Control so far in this game.
Have you ever been in a matchup where your opponent just plays Pyres, but they don't have any of the basics to turn on the other color? So they're just basically playing a mono red deck? It's the funniest thing. Not the case here, though, for Riku. Rafael deploys yet another Sentinel. Makes another map token. And let's see if we're going to crack one of those immediately. Dismiss that. Get out of here. And with no targets, not able to look at the top of the deck at all. So yeah, like you mentioned, just Is It Control. Riku doing a great job of keeping everything off the board here from Rafael's side. Steam Core Scholar, perhaps? No, here comes Vivi.
Casting Vivi.
Hey, bud. All right. Cool. Gonna give Vivi some power to work with here, so 1 blue mana, if he so chooses, available. Nice. Prop's Eidetic Memory. Cool, cool, cool. Draw a card, make Vivi a little bigger. Isn't able to activate itself again. But that's a pretty decent setup so far. But I did see the end in Rafael's hand, so this is probably not going to go very
Wow.
well. This isn't going to end well. Spoiler alert. Oh, and then he gets to look and see how he sideboarded too. Oh, icky. That's it. Cut propulsion. Couldn't tell you what that did if
Target
life
creature
depended on it.
deals damage to itself equal to its power, and if it was a flyer, it takes double.
Double, yes. Not that one. One of the top pieces of removal in the limited format, that's for sure.
So another sideboard card there in Riku's hand, Negate. That's interesting. Not necessarily an obvious include.
Mm-hmm. Vivi down. You hate to see it, but Rafael is getting all the information he wants. So, I mean, if he retains it or not, but there's the roll, like you mentioned, so we actually also get to see how he sideboarded. There's another Vivi, another Vivi. Any other sideboard cards pop out there for you?
Torch the Tower, at least one copy.
Doesn't look like too many changes were made.
Right, yeah. Keeping things mostly intact. Couple extra removal spells, the Ral, one Negate.
Yeah. Does look like one Vivi got trimmed.
So now Riku will have to play the whole rest of the game without his combo.
Mm-hmm.
If he likes, he can spend this turn harmonizing the Winter Night stories to get further ahead on cards. So this is going to be a much, much different game than the first one. It's going to be more about value.
Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do with the little Mako. Draw a bunch of cards, get this thing as big as he possibly can. Hope that Rafael doesn't have a piece of removal in hand. We see a Maelstrom Pulse, though, so this little guy's going to do his best, but he's going to get dead pretty quick. What else is in there? We see a Cecil. I think that's a Tragic Trajectory Rafael's holding on to. So it definitely has the answers.
Okay, discarded the Abrade. 2 counters on Mako, 3 more counters on Mako, so that's now a quite meaningful threat. No creatures in either graveyard.
Mm-mm. Just exiling it. Because why not? Line for turn from Rafael. He's got a couple options here. If he wants to remove that threat immediately, he has the option to do so. Doesn't have many threats of his own, though, at least from what I saw in his hand. He has Cecil, so I guess it's not nothing. But it does look like we're going to Maelstrom Pulse first and foremost. Oh, getting profits out of here. Cool. And then Trajectory, taking care of the Mako. Follows up with a 1-drop of his own and Cecil. Dark Knight.
Really interesting play, Maelstrom pulsing the Prof's Eidetic Memory. An alternate approach that he could have taken was to just try to keep creatures off the battlefield and sort of let Riku have all the Cauldron, Profts shenanigans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, for Raphael's sake, hope that he's prepared to deal with something like this Quantum Riddler.
Same. Because, yeah, I mean, both of those permanents, they need creatures to be effective. So Quantum Riddler hits the board, gets to stick, at least for the time being.
And remember, there is a negate still in hand, so Duress the perfect answer. Might as well counter it.
Yep. Keep the rest of a hand a secret, but no mana available then to do anything else. Bitter Triumph takes care of the Quantum Riddler.
It's even kind of nice paying the 3 life to accelerate your Cecil's transformation.
That's cheeky.
Okay, so the map token, the Explorer, reveals Tragic Trajectory, which not obvious if you would want to keep that. I think it's a fine one to keep.
So that's going to stay there. Cecil gets a little bigger.
Yeah, and then he didn't attack with Cecil. Not sure why you would make that judgment call. Could have just been, yeah. Could have been a judgment call. Could have been an oversight.
Hey, look, we're starting life totals once again. Don't forget about that restless cottage hanging out in the lands there for Rafael. Plenty of creature lands to come and say hi. Ooh, hi, Rel. So let's see what crackling, witty Rel can get done here for Riku. Turn passes back here to Rafael. So Rel starts at 4 +1 just to make an otter. So he's got that little buddy -3. Can draw 3 cards, discard 2. So great way to pump up some creatures with the other permanents on the board like Profts. And then -10 I doubt we'll get there, but instants and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. I don't think I've ever seen him ultimate, to be honest.
Yeah, usually the game doesn't get quite that far.
But again, another card that cares about non-creature spells, so. Here comes Sentinel of the Nameless City. Once again. Now, Riku's gonna just start chewing on things. Pump up these creatures a little bit. And try mount an offense here, because, yeah, both players have answered each other's threats pretty efficiently. Fear of missing out. Chuck a land.
Oh, so I was wondering if Rafael didn't use the map because maybe he had an instant, but I think what's going on is he's saving it to be able to turn on tragic trajectory
Nice.
Easily on a future turn.
Yeah, that's clever. Find the thing you want to kill and then make sure it dies. Because not many things survive -10 in this format.
No, I mean Marauding Mako under
Maybe,
some
yeah.
nice conditions, but
It's like, how did you let this problem get so big? Well, in true Golgari mid-range fashion, this game has become quite grindy. Now it looks like we're targeting Sentinel. Find Intimidation Tactics on top. That's going to go in the yard. Counter.
yeah, that's a good, useful Explorer because you get the counter and you didn't want to draw that.
And importantly, as you mentioned, that also triggers Void. Kind of like Revolt. And Tragic Trajectory takes care of one of the creatures here. Strategic Betrayal. Ooh, nice.
I'm expecting Riku might eat the creature in response, leave himself with a 3/3 otter. He has some other plays available to him. He could make the Soulstone Sanctuary into a creature, but I don't see why that would be super helpful here.
Yeah. And there goes the little guy. Nice to know you, man. So, Cecil and Sentinel gumming up the board, but going in at Rel here, making sure it dies. Or?
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, 2, 3, 4 creatures attacking a Planeswalker at 3. Riku has 2, 3, 3 blockers, so there's like no real great option where he doesn't lose a lot of material.
Yeah. He's got an instant in hand? Yeah, okay.
Okay, so 4/4 Otter
Against
plus Torch the
4/5?
Tower against 4/5 Sentinel of the Nameless City.
Does that get through and kill it? Oh, no, he gets the... saves it at 1. Nice. Smart. I was wondering how he was going to keep Raul alive there, but Raul does get loyalty counters when you cast a non-creature spell, so... Hey, you got to see it again! Bingo card! Woo!
Beautiful. So that means Rafael must be at 10, though the life totals might not be fully updated.
Yeah, the life totals haven't changed in a while, so...
So actually what Riku was thinking about was where he wanted to put his Agatha Soul Cauldron counter. He could have animated the Soulstone Sanctuary and put the counter there, but he perhaps thought that would, make his plans too obvious, or maybe he had a different reason why he didn't want to do that.
So Cecil Redeemed Paladin has joined the fray. What's he, a 6/6? He chonky, jeez.
Nice that he untaps too against the Soulstone Sanctuary.
Please, attack me. I don't mind. So, I've almost lost track of what has all happened in this game. It's just been such a grindy matchup here.
Yeah, this has been a great game. Much different dynamic after sideboarding, with both players having more removal. And a lot of plays and individual turns where, it's the plays aren't scripted. It's the players using their judgment about what to value, where to point removal spells.
Lord Skitar hits the board. He likes to play with graveyards, makes little friends that come and hang out with him. It's at the beginning of combat, so good way to gum up the battlefield here against big threats. I like that rat. Jesus. Keeping the graveyards clean, I respect it. A little otter jumps in the way. Cecil gains a bunch of life, so looks like our life totals are getting sorted out here. We'll get them correct as soon as we can. So would have gained 6 there. I love that Cecil gives all the other attackers indestructible as well.
Mm-hmm.
So big rat army, go. Well, once again, just making some otter friends of his own. Otters aren't rodents, are they? I was going to say it's a battle of the rodents, but I don't know if they actually are.
Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't know for sure.
Biologists in chat, help us out. No, they are carnivores belonging to the Mustelidae family. I don't know what that is, but good for them. Small furry things. It's a battle of that. As Riku does his best to keep his Planeswalker alive. It's like a little mini game that we've gotten into here. Life totals be damned.
It is impressive how many turns Raul has been on the battlefield.
Yeah. He's sticking around, man. Oh! It sticks. Ouroboros. I got it right, I think. I don't know.
Sounded right to me.
Sounded okay.
Also not a rodent.
No, it's plant worm. Very, very big plant worm. Oh, gosh. And then they start pumping each other. Ugh. Oh, this is going to get nasty. So it starts off small. You think, oh, it's innocuous. Oh, 1/3. Psh, what could possibly go wrong? Pump that once, you are so dead. Now Cecil's, 7?
Yeah, so if you can't kill Cecil, then you can't kill. Then he protects all of the other attackers.
Yeah.
So it's a very tricky spot for Riku to navigate unless Riku to stay in the game has probably got to draw a card drawing spell into more action, including a removal for the Ouroboros. If he can somehow keep the Raul at 3 counters, he does have the option to cash that in for the draw 3.
All right. Just going in with Cecil. Is there any way Riku can kill this guy? No, just going to chump once again. Thinking about it. Oof. 7 more life. 23. Once again, Rel lives. Oh boy. I get the Soul Cauldron. It kind of just seems like a spite exile. It's like, give me the graveyard. I'm just going to eat it all. Can't get anything else going with it, unfortunately. So it's literally just there to keep the graveyards clean. Community service, if you will. Oh, man.
If Riku does not have a strong hand, he's going to have to use Rao's ability, and he's doing this because he wants to get a counter so that Rao can -3 and still survive. But he's desperate. He's got to find something.
Yeah, he's digging now. This is definitely not the position Riku wants to be in. Gets a couple cards off of Rel, but you got to think it's do or die at this point, especially with that Ouroboros on the board. Internet Stories. Dig, dig, dig. Can you find anything meaningful, Riku?
Missed adding a counter to the Rao.
Oh, got it there. What's he chucking? Okay. Internet Stories in the bin. Are we delirious? I don't even think that matters right now. I don't think that helps.
Is it right that Riku's still at 20? Basically, all of the action, all the combat action has been centered around Rao?
Assume so. I'm looking at life totals there on Rafael's pad. Yeah, it says he's at 23 and Riku's at 20, yeah. Yeah, he puts himself in the first column. In the second column, there's no other numbers marked. So, yeah, Riku's still at 20. Planeswalkers, protecting your life total since... When were they introduced? Lorwyn?
That's right.
Lorwyn!
Mm-hmm.
When was Lorwyn? Like 2007?
I want to say. Yeah, give or take a year.
Goodness me. This game, this might be the last game of this match. We're sitting at 11 minutes to go, and the way it's been going, like, this is a grind fest.
Yeah, so even if Riku can pull off some kind of miracle turnaround, first of all, he has no access to VV, so he can't combo. Second of all, Rafael is going to be at like 40 from the Cecil. So, you know, it's going to be kind of brutal for Riku to try to win 2 games in this amount of time.
Absolutely.
Even 1 would be impressive.
Jeez. Yeah, no. And if there's no removal for this plant worm, like that's a 2/4 currently, so counters on everything. Does it get a counter on itself?
Well, Riku answered the first one. This is a second.
Oh, this is the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the good news is that Riku finally got some traction. He got his wheels turning. So he has access to a lot of mana, Winter Night Stories in the graveyard, the Rouse ability. So he can dig more to find removal, more card drawing, whatever. He gets to play the game now. But he just has a lot to deal with.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. I mean, does Rafael even care about Ral at this point? Or is it just time to go face?
I have a theory.
Okay. One to face, the rest to Ral. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, Ral down. No point in blocking. One of them would get through without removal, so... The creatures live. Riku takes, 8? Or? Is he blocked? No? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, the Winter Night Stories. So now both the Ral and the Winter Night Stories are gone. Riku's at the mercy of the top of his deck. Could this be the last turn of the game? No, he has more action.
Another Winter Night Story. Okay, he's digging. He's not going down without a fight. I'll tell you that much. Rafael sitting absolutely pretty here. A bunch of rats. A buff every turn. Life gain aplenty. And a ghost vacuum to just take care of anything that hits the yard for Riku. Good grief. So ghost vacuum can't get that one just yet. Looks like we're going to fire it off immediately to prevent it getting got. Dig, dig, dig. What can we find?
The way Riku tapped would actually result in damage. I don't know if he meant to do it that way.
Okay, so he'd be at 11 then. I think when we eventually get to attacks, it probably won't matter. Based on the size of these creatures.
I would agree with that. He needs kill the Ouroboros, into the Floodmaw, the Cecil, and then he's got a lot more work to do on future turns.
So what's it? 3, 6.
I wonder if there's a Restless Cottage on Raphael's side, because that would
There
is. Okay,
yeah.
That would be a big factor as well.
Yeah, it's hiding underneath the pile of 4 there. Whew-wee. Man, Riku is looking for every answer he possibly can here, but I think the writing is on the wall at this point. Rafael going to pick up a win here. It's a Torch the Tower and a Braid in hand. I see there for Riku. Jeez. Time to go to the cottage. Animate that. Before combat. Get it on the action with the counters.
2 counters to everything this time.
Yeah, because it got a little bigger. Yeesh. I admire Riku's persistence here in doing absolutely everything possible to survive. Let's see if he does, though. Doing some quick math. That's it. Goodness me. Riku Kumagai fighting for his life there, but Rafael just overwhelming him with an army of rats.
Wow, Golgari advancing to 7-1. Beating a world-class player on Is It Cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just great. I mean, we're going to have some cool decks represented in day 2. I'm satisfied already.
Yeah.